Welcome to the What Would You Make Challenge, where we have got to find our wood and make something good. Hey guys, it's Sabrina with Sabrina's Craft-nanigans. I know I've been MIA for about a week, but Mama needed a break after the 12 days of Christmas, the Just Use Your Imagination challenge, and the thrift flip road trip. Mama here was tired, and as some of you might know if you watch my videos, I am a teacher, and it was the week before Thanksgiving break, so we were busy getting kids out the building. Yeah, Thursday. Whoop, get it. So I have been pretty tired and I've been taking a break, but here I am back at you this beautiful Sunday with the What Would You Make Challenge, hosted by our beautiful Brenda at Rustic and Lace DIY and the Miss Christine at Divine Designs, and the beautiful Miss Z9 Designs is our guest host. Those ladies' beautiful links will be in my description box. Go check out their channels. They're beautiful. They're amazing. They're extremely talented. They're such an inspiration to me and have helped and guided me through my journey so far, and I love them to death. Also, in the description box and as a pinned comment will be the playlist link to all of the wonderful, beautiful creators in the What Would You Make collaboration, where we actually have to take actual wood and create our pieces, or wood has to be part of our creations that we've made. So that was a little bit of a challenge for me because I'm mostly stocked up on mostly Dollar Tree stuff, which is that MDF particle board, just kind of, not real wood. But I did have quite a bit of plenty real wood, and I just kind of had to put some things together, and I had fun with it. I hope you guys like what you see. Go click that playlist link in my description box. Go check out Brenda, Christine's, and Ms. Z9 Designs channels. They are beautiful, wonderful. Guys, make sure you give us those thumbs up or even a thumbs down. Hey, it is what it is. Make sure you comment, even if it's just an emoji. Give me that reindeer emoji if you're still here at the end, because that's my little whimsical creations today. And even just a heart emoji. Emojis count, guys. It lets YouTube know that we're getting some interaction. Make sure you subscribe. Woo, subscribe. A lot of my interaction with my videos, you guys are there liking and commenting, aren't subscribed. It's free. Do it. Subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Share out with your friends. Do that for all those beautiful ladies in the playlist linked in my description box below, as well as a pinned comment below. Now let's get into the craft room and let's see what we made with some wood. I will see you guys in the craft room. Bye. Okay, some of these might go fast and furious, guys, but here is a piece of wood that my friend Randy gave me. Thank you, Randy. It was a little sign that said welcome on the front. That was already off of there. I'm going to pop that little hook that hung it on the wall. Yes, we can see it's green on one side. I took a whole full measurement, and it is 24 inches long. I have no idea how wide it was, but I cut one at 10 inches, one at 8 inches, and one at 6 inches, and of course, I sanded them all off. Now, I'm going to take truffle and hazelnut. I'm going to take the truffle and paint the biggest one in truffle. And then I'm going to take the hazelnut and color the smallest one in hazelnut. Now, once I get those two painted, and I do paint the front and the back, the middle-sized one, I wanted to kind of make an in-between color. So I wanted to take the hazelnut, and then I have cashew right here, and I'm going to mix them together. Blendy. I tried to do one paint while it was still wet, paint the other, and that didn't work, so I actually mixed them together. And then I started dabbing to give that sponge effect so you didn't see streaks. And then, don't do this next part, people. I got to where I took my light color and put it on my dark board, and took my dark color and put it on my light boards, because I was trying to make them look like they were fuzzy, because we're going to make some reindeer. But you can see, and after a while, I didn't like that. I tried to sand some of it off, but there was no hope, and I didn't have no time to redo the whole thing. So it is what it is. Now, these little round circles of pieces of actual wood you can buy at the Dollar Tree. I'm at a loss for words today, people. And I'm going to take those. They're actually 3 different sizes in the pack. I'm coloring the smallest one with my Imperial Red by Folk Art. And then I'm going to color the middle and the biggest one with the black chalk paint that I bought at Dollar General. It's not bad, but it's not great. And I did give everybody 2 coats on that. Okay, yes, I know there was a hole in there because they were for ornaments, but you know what? It is what it is. I put it at the bottom and you see nothing. You see nothing. I'm taking a pencil, and Gracie here is going to help me draw some eyes, and I'm just drawing some big old googly eyes. I'm hand drawing this and just trying to do the best I can. So I give everybody their eyes, and now I'm going to take my white paint marker. I think it's a Posca one, or however you say that, the P one. And I'm going to first outline, and I'm going to trace it several times. I just want to get me a good outline. I have better control with the paint markers than I do to just grab a paintbrush and try to do it. Now, once I have outlined their eyeballs, I'm now taking my white Waverly chalk paint and now taking a paintbrush. Since I have me an outline, I can try to stay inside the lines. So I'm going to paint inside all my little eyeballs here in white. Give everybody a good painting. And I do give everybody 2 coats for their eyeballs. Okay, so once everybody has 2 coats, I'm going to go back, and while that dries, take my white paint pen. And I'm just kind of giving some little fun little mark shadings on their noses. It was a dot, a curve, and a dot. A dot, curve, and a dot. And I went over both of those twice, especially on the black. Now Moose is going to help us. Okay, now I forgot to hit record, but you can see Big Daddy up there. He's already got some black in his eyes, and I am just taking a permanent jot marker from the Dollar Tree to put on the black. I didn't use any paint. And then these are Mama's eyes. This is Mama Deer. And I kind of got a little crook. I saw on just a Pinterest picture that the girly one had kind of that little dip in her eye sideways because she's looking at the daddy. Oh, yeah, she's looking at the daddy. And then I also, after I painted their black on the inside, I outlined it. And then you can see, that's going to be Rudolph, y'all. Look, you see his eyes are all wonky. He's the kid. I work with kids. Yep, he wonky. And now I'm just gluing their noses on with the wood glue from the Dollar Tree, which is excellent, and a little bit of hot glue to give it a temporary hold, and then the wood glue will give it a permanent hold. So there are their noses. And then you can also notice I took that jot permanent marker and gave everybody some eyelashes. All right, now, dug in my stash. This is all floral and stuff from my stash. This was like some pitberry stuff, but it also had bells on it. Jingle, 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 shake a jingle bells. I had snowmen shaking their bells. Now my reindeer are going to shake their bells. Okay, and I'm just trying to size them up, and I'm giving Daddy here the bigger ones, and then Mama kind of the medium, and then Rudolph kind of has the more skimpier ones there. So we got the whole family of reindeer going on here. I was thinking about the movie that I used to watch when I was the kid, the original Rudolph. You know, they had Daddy, who was Donner. Wasn't it Donner that was the daddy? And then they had Mama, and then they had Rudolph, and that's what I was going for. Anyway, just hot glued those 2 on. Moose is back to help. Actually, the booty's in the way. Those big fluffy picks that I had in my stash came from Walmart. I'll show you the tag here in a little bit. They just called it a berry pine pick or something. Anyway, I'm using big poofy ones for Mama and Daddy, but you can see on Rudolph there, I used some more little skinny, shorter ones. And once again, I'm just gluing those right on top of where I glued the little pitberry bells, which are their antlers, by the way. Now, I'm taking these berries that were on those picks as well. These were like big old chunky clumps of berries, and so I didn't want that much berry on them, so I was kind of snipping. You can see all my little piles I got going on over here. I got Mom fitted out. She looks good. Trying to get Dad fitted out, and then Rudolph up there is just going to get a couple little sprigs. I didn't want to do too much, so I really had to kind of cut these up and cut them down to make them look okay. Not that they look okay. Anyway, so we got that glued on. I'm going to use this raffia that it came from the Dollar Tree, but I only got it for 50 cents at the Goodwill. Oh, yes. Going to take some of that, and I fought with this for I don't know how long. I must have edited 30 minutes of video out. I'm going to take some strings of that raffia and make a bow with it. This is going to be Mama's. And I'm going to tie me a bow. I adjust it, get it where I like it. And then once I get it how I like it, I'm going to cut a lot of that end off right there. And we can use that for some scrap here in a few minutes. And then I'm going to glue that bow for Mama right on top of her berries and her branches. And then I'll trim it up a little bit again. I guess I could have gone a little faster. The part I could have went faster on, I didn't. The part I should have gone slower on, I'm Speedy Gonzalez. I'm so sorry, guys. I was just trying to get this in. I feel so bad this is 30 minutes long, and if y'all don't want to stay, I don't blame you. But if you're liking what you see, like and subscribe, guys. I'm almost at 500. When I get to 500 subscribers, 500 subbies, I want to have a giveaway. Woohoo! So y'all make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click on my pretty picture and subscribe and like and comment. Give me that deer emoji. Go on ahead. All right, now for Rudolph, I made just some loops. I'm going to tie it in the middle, And of course, it's obviously shorter. Now, I'm not going to keep it a bow because we know Rudolph is a boy. So once I get this tied together, there you go, Sabrina, there we go. I'm going to cut the loops. That way it's frayed a little bit. And then, just like Miss Joanna, I am going to take that fancy little pokey pink thing from the Dollar Tree that works absolutely amazing. And I am going to kind of fry this up a little bit so that it looks like there's more strings. You'll see me grab that here in just a second. By God, remember 500 subscribers, guys. I'm almost there at 500. There's going to be a giveaway of some loot in my stash. And I'm searching for my little pink pokey. Okay, so here's that pink pokey tool like my sister Joanna likes. And I'm using it, and I get smart here in a minute and put it on my cutting mat. And I'm just trying to fray it a little bit more. And kind of like pulling it apart, fraying it, making it look like it's got some more strings. And you can see the difference in it, see the difference in the sides. And of course, now I'll do that to the other side, which thank goodness I cut that out and didn't make you sit through. And I'll glue that to the top of Rudolph's little head. And I'd give Daddy the same thing that I give Rudolph, except his is bigger and more fried. Okay. Now, I want to take some jute. I do not put you through this misery. Daddy is going to get a jute bow. Rudolph gets a red one, and Mama gets a red and white one. Mama's red and white one is actually loops, but Rudolph and Daddy's is actually fried like the jute twine was. I had these little styrofoam snowflake stuffs in my stash and glued that right on top to cover up all that lump. Now, of course, these were getting top heavy, so they wouldn't stand up by themselves. So I took a big Jenga block and I'm gluing that with some wood glue and hot glue on the back so that they stand, and there they are, the whole family. Aren't they cute? Okay, project number 2. I'm taking these. These are all from Dollar Tree. They're the trucks. I have 2 boxes, but one of them is the one that has slits, no handles, and the other one that has handles and no slits. And then I have 9 bigger Jenga blocks. They're not the little tiny ones from Dollar Tree. These are some I got from my friend Shelly. Thank you, Shelly. But they're not Jenga blocks, but they're not the little tiny Dollar Tree blocks either. Okay, I'm taking some instant coffee. I haven't tried this yet. So this project, I was doing a lot of trial, just see what works kind of thing. And I'm doing it where you put your wood in the instant coffee water stuff. And I'm going to let those 9 Jenga blocks soak in that instant coffee over to the side while I get my trucks here and I kind of get everything going. Now, of course, I got the labels off, I got the strings off, and I'm going to pop all the pieces off as well. The little rims and then the fenders. There we go, all cleaned up. I also sanded everything down real good as well. Okay, so we got all that good to go. Now what I'm going to do, before I pop off the bed rails there, I'm going to trace them with a pencil. Because as you can see, the bed rails are on there, but it is covered up by the panel in the back. So I'm going to trace this where the bed rails sit. And now I'm going to pop those off because it's just all glued on. Popped it off, sanded it off. Now, where the pencil marks are, like you can see in the top one, I'm going to take my ruler here and my blade, and I'm just going to score several times. And this wood is very, very thin, guys. This was really, really easy. So I scored it where I traced the bed rails that were on the side of the truck. And now I'm going to do this long ways, and I'm just scoring. It only took me just a couple times, guys, like 4 or 5 times. It's really thin wood, and I for once had a decent blade. And then see, it just pops off. And of course, there'll be some little splinters and things like that. But of course, once I get this off, I'm going to take my sander, just a little piece of sandpaper or my zip sander, which I need sandpaper for. And see, now it looks like it's actually bed rails. It doesn't got that piece behind it. Boop, it's gone. So now we actually got some bed rails. I'm going to sand all that off, make it smooth. So there we go. Everything done, everything ready to go. Now I've decided, okay, those Jenga blocks have soaked for quite a while. I'm taking them out of the instant coffee mixture, and I'm going to put all those pieces in the fenders and the bed rails. We're going to let those guys soak. While they're soaking, I'm going to take the rims that were on the truck, and I'm just giving those guys a paint with some white Waverly chalk paint. I already gave them 1 coat, and then now I'm giving them their 2nd coat, and I'm dabbing it on there because instead of smearing it, okay, those are set to the side to dry. Now we've got my 2 trucks here, okay? We're going to use my Imperial Red chalk paint, And I'm just going to use that brush over there, which I fought with because there was more sponge than there was action. So I ended up cutting the end off of that, and I got rid of that whole thing because you all didn't need me to see you do that. I have painted both sides of the trucks and the box that had the handles, but not the open sides, if that makes sense. I'm going to give these guys, I flip one truck one way and you see the other truck is flipped the other way because I'm going to make like a 3D truck. I'm pouncing it right now so it doesn't look like there's streaks. I'm going to do the same thing with the box. See, that was the box with the handles, but not the spaces and the slats. Okay. I saw somebody do this. I can't remember who, but this is another thing you can make it to give it some rust. I've seen several people do this, matter of fact. So I thought, oh, I want to try this. Instead of using my Waverly Antique Wax, let me use some cinnamon. I mean, it's Christmas and cinnamon smells good. Oh, yeah. I'm using just a paint bottle of paint there I had to cover up the tires. So when I go to glue those on later, the cinnamon doesn't interfere with the glue or anything, which I glue other things in other places where the cinnamon is. And, I just don't know what I was thinking with this. It was getting late. It was Thanksgiving break is on our way, and whoo, boy. Okay, so once I got that on, the paint was still kind of wet. So after I sprinkled that cinnamon on, that stuff smells good. I kind of just took like a chippy brush and I kind of dabbed it down in. And then I kind of knocked it off, and now I'm kind of just brushing it around. So you can kind of see how it looks. It looks a lot better after it dries. So I take my other pieces out of my instant coffee mixture there, and now I'm wanting to put this other box without the handles, but it does have the slits. This is going to be the bed of our truck. The red box is going to be the engine part. This box is going to be the bed. And, if I was smart, I would have got me a bigger container instead of doing whatever. But anyway, that's set for a while. This is like the next day. So I come in and I'm just showing you, it's got some texture on it, which was really cool. But I flip that over and you can tell the difference in just the red or the red with the cinnamon on it. So I thought it was pretty cool. It worked good. We're going to put some real tires on this thing, guys. So I had a dump truck that I had for another project I was going to do that I never got to do it. And I popped the tires off. These tires I already had in my stash. That dump truck is for something else. Yeah, wait on that. The next imagination collaboration. You guys wait on that. I cut a lot of the back off where the wheels were attached so that it would lay flat against the truck. What I'm going to do now that those tires are cleaned up, I'm using some wood glue and some hot glue to glue my fenders back on both sides. And there we go. That's done. Now I'm going to glue my wheels on, and I'm just going to put some glue in the center and then along like the top part edge. And of course, once I glue these on, the glue kind of oozes out and everything else, but I don't leave this in here. But what I do is I take my weeding tool for my Cricut, and that helped me poke a lot of that glue off. When I put the second tire on, I set it up to make sure it was sitting level and they were good. And I do the same thing when I put the tires on the other side. Before I go to the other side, I want to put the rims on. I just put a little bit of glue on those, and I stick them right on top of the tire right there. Wheel number 1 and wheel number 2. There I am digging some of the glue off, but there we go. Now we're going to do the same thing to the other side. Boom, done. When I did put those tires on the other side, I did sit them up to make sure that everything was flush and level. Now we're going to put our coffee stained box with the slats. That's the bed of our truck. I'm making sure it's lined up. Looks good. I'm going to use my tight bond quick and thick like Brenda and Kathy Joe use, and this stuff is awesome, y'all. Boy, this stuff dries fast. I take a little bit and I just put it in the middle, I smear it around, and then I take my hot glue and I just kind of put a dot on each end there, and then I'm going to make sure it's lined up and flush exactly where I want it with the top of the bed of the truck, and then where I want it at the back. And I got some of those pins there, those clips, and I'm clipping that on. And now we're going to go ahead and glue the red one on, which is like the engine part up here. I just wanted to make sure it was stable. So that was the one with the handles. Same thing, using my tight bond, spearing it, then getting the hot glue and running it down the edge. Zoop and zoop. And those are pretty much even in height, as you can tell. Sorry, my head's in the way, so no, you can't tell. But there we go. And now I'm just going to do the same thing to the other side. Give some strips of the tight bond, quick and thick. And then give myself some dots of hot glue and some strips of hot glue. And we're going to grab my other truck there. That's why it was flipped over. And I did the other side when we painted. And like you see, I'm sitting it up so that the tires are all on the table. so that it is not too wobbly. It still ends up wobbly, but you know what? It's not too bad. So I clipped everything together there and let it dry for a while. And after it dried for a while, I came back and I'm taking my bed rails here, and it was like a puzzle putting it together because I lost my brain. And I'm going to glue those right to the top of the bed rail there. And of course, I'm making that bottom rail flush with the top of the bed of the truck. I'm just going to use just my Tight Bond Quick and Thick for that. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to rub it, get some of the excess off, stick it on there, and then I'm going to use the clips, which came from the Dollar Tree. And those things are pretty good, y'all. I got big ones. I got little ones. They're pretty amazing. And I'm going to take my clips, and once I get that lined up, which takes me forever. Guys, I am so sorry. This is so long. 500 subscribers, guys. I'm almost there. Free goodies in a giveaway. Come on, guys. Sub it up. Anyway, so I got both bed rails on both sides there. So I'm pretty happy with it. It's looking pretty good. One side's not so good, but the other side's pretty good. Okay, now let's get to our 9 Jenga blocks. You see, I got some snowflakes there. That was for a string of snowflakes from the Dollar Tree. Or no, it was a package of snowflakes, because you can see the one has a hole in it. They were to be ornaments. I'm just taking my pruning snips here. They work great for projects that are thin wood. And I'm cutting off the pieces like this. They are going to end up being the antlers of these Jenga blocks. Guess what the Jenga blocks are? So there we go. I cut all those guys off. And I did not use the points of the snowflake that had the hole to make an ornament. I saved those. I didn't throw them away. And I'm using my antique Waverly wax, and I'm painting the top, but I'm not painting that point because I want to make sure there's nothing down there to interfere with my glue when I glue them on. I did paint both sides of them. Now I'm thinking, okay, if my Jenga blocks, they're going to be deer if you haven't figured it out. I'm sure you have, though. The same color as the pieces of my truck. I didn't like that too much, so I thought, let me just take a wet baby wipe and my antique wax and dab it off a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and go over my wood pieces with the antique wax anyway. I love the coffee stain. It did darken it up, but I figured since my Jenga blocks were the same stained color, I wanted my truck to be a little bit darker than the Jenga blocks. So I did go over it just a little bit. You can tell, like, hardly nothing, not enough. But I did that on both sides and the bed of the truck. Okay, back to our reindeer. So you can see I took those on. I glued them on. I just glued 2 to the back, just like that. Flip it over. Make sure I like the way they are. There we go. See? Yup. You also see I've got some wiggly eyes over there. And I also have some little berries over there by my pen. That's going to be our eyeballs and our noses. For some reason, the red nose rolled up into my eyeballs up there. We know who that'll be. Okay, so I got my wiggly eyes. Got all my antlers on. And I didn't show it, but I did take my Waverly wax after I got the antlers glued on. And I did paint the back sides of the antlers once everything was glued on so they didn't stick out. Anyway, so these are just pieces of berries that were on some stems that I had in my stash. And I used the black ones. And not all of them were black, or, you know, when you tear them apart, it's white foam. So I just took my permanent marker and colored over them. And then I left you off for Rudolph. I just took my glue pen, I glued the eyes on, stamped them up to kind of make them flat and level. Gonna glue his nose on here in just 10 minutes. There we go. You can also see I just took my Jot permanent marker from the Dollar Tree, and I added little smiley faces. Some of them have smirks, some of them have googly mouths. Well, Rudolph got to have a googly mouth, so there you go. There is our 8 reindeer, and then, of course, Rudolph. I added a couple embellishments to my truck, like in vinyl, Santa's Crew. I had those little white sprigs up there at the top to kind of cover the holes that were where the string was in the truck. I put SC on the back for Santa Claus. Yeah, and now I meant for the deer to all fit in the back of the truck, but they're just not fitting exactly the way I want them to. I need some foam. I need one side higher than the other side. I decided to take this, and some of them sat on the hood, some of them sat on the ground. You'll see it in the final review here in just a second. But I cannot talk today, can I? Yeah, but okay. Here's the final review right here. Look at that, guys. So I got some of them on the hood and some of them on the ground. Isn't it cute? Okay, now this one's going fast and furious. If you've watched any of my videos before with my spindles, you know that that's my favorite little red wagon right there that I've used in several times. Now, I have got some carrots that are the wood decorations from Dollar Tree at Easter. And I've got just a chunk of scrap wood that I had in my stash. You also notice I got some raffia over there in the wagon. I am just giving this just a, well, I don't want to say dry brush because it wasn't really dry. But I take my carrots, and you can saw there that I put some of that spackle in the holes of the carrots. And I'm painting the bottom half white. And then the chunk of wood that I had in my stash, I painted that white. I flip it over. This side turns out better because it was a dry brush. That's what I was wanting to do. So that's the side I'm going to use. That's going to be a sign. I'm taking my sandpaper and sanding off all the spackle from when I got all that on there. Now I'm going to use my Mod Podge, and I'm going to put it on just where I painted white on the carrots. And that was Waverly white chalk paint too. And after the Mod Podge was on that, while it was drying, I made me a little decal here to go on my sign. Reindeer treats, 25 cents. Now, I am pulling apart my napkin here because we are going to do the little iron-on method. That Mod Podge on my carrots is dry. I'm taking this napkin that I got during the spring from the Dollar Tree. Grab your parchment paper, not wax paper, people, parchment paper. I'm going to iron that on. That reactivates the Mod Podge. It's hot. I just cut it apart using some fire here because you guys know I love some fire. Which at this point I probably shouldn't be. I really fried that one carrot. I hope that reindeer ain't too hungry because he ain't going to eat that one. Anyway, I took my sandpaper and sanded them down and wiped them up and got them all pretty. Now we're going to get them back on here. I'm going to put another blob of Mod Podge and just cover them, coat them, make sure they're good to go. Okay, this green I have is from Waverly. It's moss, and I'm just doing the tops of my carrots with the green Waverly moss. Kind of the ends. I could have done the back. I didn't have time. Do the back if you want. Leave it alone. Whatever. Okay, I got me a fan brush. And I'm taking my Mod Podge. I just blob some on the end there. You can saw I have some glitter. I'm going to start with my carrots, putting on the orange glitter because it's Christmas. We got to have glitter. Otherwise, this glitter could go in the trash. Do you hear me? Okay, once I got the orange on, you can see what I do with my fan brush there, kind of in the crooks of the carrot fuzzy. And then now we're going to take our green and get that on there, shake it off, and look at that. Isn't that cute? And no, I did not waste any of that glitter. Every time I change colors, I would get my parchment paper, flip it up, and pour it back into my container. Yeah, we don't waste glitter. As much as I hate glitter, I ain't wasting it. Okay, I put my raffia in my wagon there. I'm going to take this piece of a dowel rod I have, and I'm going to glue this on real good, roll it around, make sure it has some glue. Going to put some on top. I've got an extra piece of ribbon here. This is just going to make sure it is good and stable. And of course, I'll cut all that extra off. Now it doesn't look too shabby, too bad. And I want to put that into my wagon. Well, obviously that wasn't sitting up because it was really top heavy. So these are these little mini hay bales from Dollar Tree during the fall. It's literally a piece of styrofoam is all it is. I wish I had known that before I bought like 20 packs of it, but you know, it's all good. I kind of glue that in the bottom, and then I stick my sign into that little hay bale. And now everything is dry. We're all good to go. I'm sticking my carrots in the raffia. And then I have some of those other carrots from Easter springtime. Those were big ones, but you can see I got a whole bag up there in the top left-hand corner. I got a smaller size than the ones you see on the table. Those were too big. So I used the next size down. Just kind of filled it up. And that's why this is reindeer treats. We know they in real life want carrots, but these are Santa's reindeer. They got to have the magic glitter on it. So that's why all the glitter. You should have seen this mess. Oh my. And look, I'm going to make more of a mess. I took my Mod Podge and I kind of made it drip down the front of the sign. And then I took some silver multi-colored glitter. And of course, my wagon handle needed a pretty bow. All that was from Dollar Tree, that ribbon. And there we go. Isn't it so adorable? And there they are, guys. There's Mama, Daddy, and Rudolph. Aren't they the sweetest things? Oh, they came out so good. I was so happy with them. I wasn't sure how the antlers were going to work, but they turned out good. I'm very, very happy with those guys, especially Rudolph's wonky eyes. Here is our reindeer treats in the little wagon from the farmer's market. We got our carrots, but they're magic carrots, so our reindeer fly. And here's Santa's crew, all 8 reindeer and Rudolph. And somebody done fall down in the back. He needs to put his seatbelt on. You bad boy, you need to get up there. A couple of my little embellishments here. I put some headlights on the front. I'm going to try to come around to the back here because you didn't see me do this. But there's the SC for Santa Claus, and I put some tail lights on the back. Oh, yeah, just those little tiny things and the horns coming out the top to cover up those holes. I thought it worked pretty good. If you like what you see, guys, like, subscribe, comment, share out, hit that notification bell. I love you.